purpose of today's AcquaTalk is to help you with your clients, with things that you're selling, where it's important to furnish your residences. Not just with furniture, you need to have a designer and also as well as art. So let me just introduce the panel today. We have Isabel Tragash, Jonathan Caruso, they're for STA. They're our design firm for the estates of Acqualina, the mansions. We have Ricardo Britto from Luxury Living, which is Fendi Bentley Furniture, and Russell Glotfelty. Did I say it right?
Close enough.
So today we're going to start off to give you impressions about really everything in real estate. Just like the curb appeal, we're a customer with design neighborhoods. How do we approach the design spaces at the estates of Acqualina? Some of the residents of our new boutique tower, which we just released last week, we ran our first full-page ad. If you notice, both towers are under construction. We're getting ready now to top off the 49th floor on the South Tower, which will be delivering the first quarter of 21. We started the construction of the North Tower way before we even started sales. We're getting ready now to pour the 7th floor. And the villa in the middle, which houses the 45,000 square feet of amenities, is now pouring the 2nd floor. The boutique tower, which is 94 residents, will be delivered 9 months later than the South Tower. Basically, it's 2 per floor. They're both corner residences from 4,300 to 4,700 square feet. Everything that we do here with our brand has to do with building residences for people that actually want to live here. We're not an investor-driven developer, so we basically hire architects that design from the inside out rather than the exterior. It's more important for the apartments to work functionally because people can actually live there. So the residents are basically 4 and 5 bedrooms. Price range basically is pre-construction at $6,145,000 up to $32 million for the penthouse. I'll go in further later about the details of that. We're going to start off with the panel. What we're doing in the boutique tower, which has been a huge success for us, is, and you're wondering why this big toothbrush is back here. Because that's the only thing you need to move into the boutique tower at the estates of Acqualina. We give you a gold toothbrush. Everything else is done by the panel. You're going to hear today of what we're doing with the tower. You know, we find that a lot of our residents love the idea that they can come in, sit down with Isabel and Jonathan, help them make their selections for colors and fabrics and stuff like that. Once that's done, then they meet with Ricardo from Luxury Living, who helps them with their furniture. And then out and down we got, sorry, Russell, for art. So what we're doing here is something really unique. So the day that they close, rather than waiting a year, pull permits, hire a general contractor, hire a designer, our designer, hire a designer, paying maintenance, paying taxes, carrying charges, it's done. They call up, give 2 weeks' notice. They get a white glove treatment where the furniture is delivered. And when I talk about furniture, it's rugs, it's accessories, it's chandeliers. Everything is done for them. So this is quite unique, and you'll find out more about that today. If you want to stop by the sales center, we'll talk about it later after the thing, and we're going to get started. So Ricardo, can you tell us about the residences at the estates of Acqualina?
Yes. We started, it's quite interesting, we started creating 2 curated concepts for the North Tower, which is pretty much two packages, 2 different packages for 2 unit types, which is the Amalfi and the Ravello, that we call like that. And this was so successful that we are now also offering for the South Tower units. So what is the curated concept? It's like a lifestyle that we created for your clients, where we put together a package of furniture. Like Mike was saying, it's not only big pieces like sofas, beds, dining table, but they are also going to get decorative accessories, decorative lighting, rugs. It's the full lifestyle that we offer.
So Isabel and Jonathan, can you tell us about how you came up with what we call furniture-ready units, material choices, finishes, and the palettes?
Sure. I'll tell you also a little bit about the planning of the unit, if I may.
Sure.
I think what's very important when we start these projects is we try to get ourselves into the vision of these future residents and buyers. We see if you're coming to South Florida, what's the allure of where we are? And part of it is our weather, our elegance mixed with casualness, and more than anything, the views that they're going to have. So when we start laying out these units, it's very important for us to maximize the views. And if you go to the model unit, you will see how the kitchen seamlessly flows into the grand salon, all forming this very elegant yet casual composition. Then it's very important to offer choices to the buyers so that they can express their individuality. So for that, it's a very intricate process where our firm, someone from our firm, actually Jonathan, had the pleasure of traveling through Asia, through Greece, Italy, and sourcing the perfect stones. So that some that we've never seen before and others that are quite classical. And from this, we start to develop a scheme so that we give the buyers schemes for flooring, schemes for bathrooms, for countertops, for kitchens. And we follow the same process. We're now working with Molteni for these very custom designed kitchens, where we take their woods and we see what works with the marbles we've selected. So we have an array of marbles to select from, an array of woods to select from, an array of lacquer finishes to select from. So we've made sure that all these combinations are going to work beautifully once selected. We meet with the buyer and we go over all the finishes. We have an amazing app. It's like a configurator where we can show them this is how it's going to look with this floor. This is how it's going to look with this countertop. If you go to the model center, you're going to see how we've really artistically composed the veining of each marble piece. So they're really, when you see these slabs, it's almost like a work of art. At the end of the day, after we meet with the buyer, the resident, the future resident, they feel very confident with their selections. Not only do they feel confident with the selections, they feel that they're an individual that's been able to select their own palette. And there's a great level of comfort in the way we approach the process and make it very seamless, very comfortable. It relieves that stress level of selecting your materials. And everybody's been very complimentary of the process so far.
And Jonathan, you get to meet with a lot of the clients. What are some of the comments that you're hearing back from these clients?
Well, what's interesting is, and even going back to mansions, what was unique when mansions was launched was we had 4 schemes. And so there was a wide variety of options that you could choose for, as Isabel described, your kitchens, your bathrooms, your floors. And we did a similar type of thing for South Tower. What we found when we met with all of the South Tower buyers is that people still wanted as many options as possible. They wanted to customize, mix and match. They really wanted the ability to personalize their space so that theirs was different than their friend on the 35th floor and they're on the 40th floor. And so when we developed this, the scheme, it's actually one scheme for North Tower, we made it as flexible as possible. So we wanted to cater to a person who wants an apartment with extreme contrast, really exciting stones, super flashy, impressive. And also the clients that want something much more quiet, much more subtle. And so we've allowed for a greater ability of flexibility that way. And that was mainly the biggest feedback we got from meeting with all of the clients. most of them are just so excited that they don't have to do anything after they close. They get to move right in. And with the curated furniture packages, it's a step even further.
Just to let you know, this will work with anything that you guys have as far as listings that you have. You know, if you have listings where the units are raw, you'd be surprised how much faster those residents will sell if they were furnished. Because a lot of buyers don't visualize raw space. They might be their fifth apartment, but they still never visualize. So this is the reason for the panel here, is to sort of give you insight how we can help you to sell the residences, and then, of course, hopefully get those clients and bring them over here to the estates after you sell their listings. Russell, what do you think makes the project so distinct from other major developments in the area? And what type of art are you showcasing here?
So good morning. You know, I think the thing that sets Acqualina apart from some of the other projects that we've worked on in both here, South Florida, and the New York market is the understanding that they have of the hospitality industry, and understanding with having the resort and what people really are looking for when they come into an environment, in a comfortability factor. You know, one of the things that I was very drawn to when introduced to the project was the fact that the amenity spaces that are available to the towers, to you know, from the hotel side, whether or not it be food and beverage or housekeeping, any of those types of things. And what we see as a trend, and I've been in the art business for 40 years now, and what we've seen as a trend is the consolidation of some of those projects, and that's why this project has become so uniquely different than everything else that we're working on, because people just don't want that project anymore. They don't want to go into a project and spend 3 years or 2 years designing out, furnishing, picking every single finish, every single trim. And so, you know, they want the convenience of walking into something that's done very, very well. They want the quality, but they also want all of that sort of process taken out of it, and for it to be as easy as possible. As particularly in this market, you know, we've got people that are relocating from other areas. As I mentioned, we do quite a bit in the New York market also, and you know, we've seen a huge insurgence of folks from the Northeast heading down. Regarding artwork, you know, the artwork side of it is so subjective, and you know, we've got clients that from all around the world that are drawn to different types of artwork, whether or not it's emerging artists that they are looking to lift up, or mid-career artists, or collectible artists, or you know, then moving into the blue chip products. So we have clientele, and we have a source of products that are available in every single price point. So what we've done is where we've had success with projects that we've done with furnished models with developers, or with for lack of a better term, stage products, was to be able to go in and create an art collection that truly didn't look as if someone walked in and just hung 30 pieces of artwork, that it looks collected over a period of time. So you're going to have pieces that it looks like something you bought on the riverside in Paris when you were on a vacation, and you're going to look like you have a piece that you bought at a gallery in New York City. So it's a combination of those sorts of things to make it feel more comfortable versus more completed. So.
And Reese, why do developers stage art? And I know that you're involved in the art for the big penthouse that was sold in New York from Mr. Bezos.
Yes. So we actually furnished and curated the art collection for the 212 Fifth Avenue penthouse in New York City, which was a product that was done by a developer up there, and the group at Sotheby's International Real Estate worked on that project, and we curated that collection. We put about $1.5 million, $1.7 million worth of artwork in that penthouse. And as I was mentioning before, we had pieces in there that were literally $500, and we had pieces in there, the least expensive piece we had was $500, and the most expensive piece we had was $925,000. So basically, what we're finding with developers is they're trying to set themselves apart from the other products out there. And as the market share gets tighter and as more product comes on the market, how do you set yourself apart and what do you do differently? And artwork is a great way when, you know, partnering with this amazing team up here, you've got beautiful, well-built furniture that's designed out by a great team, and you know the artwork is sort of, I like to believe it's the cherry on the top, you know, that sort of closes the deal. And you know, and the beautiful thing about working with developer projects is we can do apartments that are $2 million, we can do an apartment that's $1 million, or we can again do an apartment that sold for $80 million to, yes, Jeff Bezos from Amazon. So very proud of that project.
So this is a question for any of the panelists. Can you give us some insight how furnished residences sells faster than ones that are not?
I mean, it's convenience. I think it comes down to convenience. Obviously, we're in a resort community. We're in a resort market, and so it's no mystery that a lot of people who come and purchase here, they use the property for a portion of the year. And what they're really looking to do, especially coming to Acqualina, because the idea here is that it's a resort lifestyle, is to arrive and enjoy. And so the fact that they can do that with a home where they don't have to unpack their clothes, they bring a toothbrush, you know, it feels like their home is really quite remarkable. And all they have to do is arrive. And so to me, that's incredibly appealing, especially for someone who has 3, 4, 5 residences.
And there's also the emotional part. I think sometimes when a person walks into a space that's nicely done, they just fall in love with it. Mm-hmm. And it's like they have to have it. And it's as simple as that, and it feeds their life. It's in keeping with their lifestyle, and sometimes it may be something that's drastically different from where they're coming from, but they just simply fall in love with that. And I've seen that happen. We actually saw that yesterday when we were introducing the new Baccarat collection into the model unit. This family came and they saw this and they said, I just love this. This is how I want to live. So I pointed them to Ricardo, and they're going to be visiting your showroom.
Yes.
And I do welcome everybody after here to come back to our new sales center, which we just opened up. It's about 99% done, but you really need to see what we did there so you can get a sense of what we're doing. Ricardo, why were the luxury living collections ideally suited for the estates? And what did each collection bring to the project?
Well, so let's just start like this. When you go to any of the Acqualina projects and you look at the floor, the ceilings, the walls, you see design, you see quality, you see, you know, that the space was thoughtful, you know, and then same thing when you go in the units, you see the baseboards, the kitchens, the closets, you know, the handle at the door. So it's really unique. There's no developments in Miami that does such a detail, takes such a special attention to detail, such as Acqualina does, and so STA and Axiom. With luxury living isn't different. You know, our collections are really special. You see a Fendi Casa sofa, or you know, a Bentley home chair. You do see the design. The materials are great, and the stitching and the way that everything is finished. It's very special. So I truly believe that that this partnership between Acqualina and luxury living, our collections really adds value to the project and to the property.
This is for any of the panels. How do you research what the ideal buyer wants, and what kinds of questions do you ask internally?
Well, I think what we try to do is put ourselves in their set of mind, and is what are they looking for, and usually what type of buyers are we going to have, where are they coming from, and what is alluring about South Florida to them. And that's what we respond to. And again, that goes back to the views, the open plan, and just a really high-end quality of detailing and selection of materials.
And I think what helps us as we continue to design these projects in Acqualina, each time we move on to the next one, we get more and more insight, because one of the most unique things about the process is that they have Isabel and I here to meet with every buyer to make all of the selections. And now on this project, they will meet with Ricardo or Russell. So we really are sort of the front line. We get to know each buyer's personality, taste, whether they come with a designer, whether they're looking for a designer, if they have art collections. And so all of these things sort of give us insight into what people want for the latest and greatest. Do they want different lighting? Do they want have trends change? Do they want brighter colors, softer colors? And we get all of that information really from meeting with all of these different buyers, and obviously from communicating with our past clients that are not in Acqualina.
And that's where we ensure that our palettes, our material palettes, we have some that are very dramatic, which appeals a lot of people. But then a lot of people really get turned off by that. They want something very quiet and mellow, so we offer those palettes as well. And that's the information we gather from meeting with all of them.
Yes, I would like to add that I have met so far with 12 buyers that purchased the curated concept, and everyone is different. So it's just to make it clear for you, we don't have one single unit that needs to be the same or get the same design, so they all can be different and according to your client's taste and lifestyle. We definitely have this ability to customize the packages. Luxury living, I mean, we do have hundreds of fabrics, leathers, colors, materials, finishes that you can select from. Our collections goes from Fendi Casa, Bentley Home, Baccarat, Trussardi. We have Bugatti and so on. It's so many. It's so extensive, such an extensive collection to select from. It's really beautiful. Like Michael said, we do invite you to go to the sales center. We have beautiful renderings that we created to give you a better idea of what we offer and what is included in the curated concept.
I think also, for us, it's the demographic of the client. And it's already been said by the team already. It's understanding how the client's going to live there, what their goals are for living there. And if we kind of go at asking them questions about what their investment goals are, what is their intent? Are they looking to just furnish the home with work to fill the space, or are they looking to invest in pieces? Miami has become, South Florida's become such an epicenter for the art world. It's a great sort of springboard for us because of Art Basel, because of some of the art fairs that go on, Palm Beach Modern, that sort of thing. But for us, it's really understanding what the client's goals are. We have clients that are solely only interested in blue chip, where they are going to make an investment, and then we have people that are perfectly happy to work with emerging artists that they just find something that they really like, and it doesn't matter if it's a highly expensive piece or if it's a reasonable piece. So it's kind of understanding what their goal is with their art collecting process, and sometimes it takes time.
This is for any of the panels. How have lifestyle needs evolved in the luxury market, and what have you seen change?
Well, I think, and I was thinking about this as Russell was answering his question, the needs have not necessarily changed, but I think people are more attentive to the way they actually live. And sort of to springboard off of that, this developer has taken that cue and said, we really want people to be comfortable in the spaces they're purchasing. We want a level of customization that allows a family with 4 children, to live here just as comfortably as a couple of 2 or a single person. And this particular product allows people that level of input. I need things as small as I need an extra bathtub because I have grandchildren, or I need a closed kitchen because my lifestyle is not conducive to an open plan, or a built-in staff room in all of these units. These are things that really, I think, speak to the attention to detail and attention to each client's feedback that the project considers.
Also got to be careful, and that's why when we decided to go ahead and do the curated residences is to make sure we had the proper team. I mean, you can go and take a condo and furnish it, but if you furnish it wrong, or you put the wrong size couch or the wrong size this, it can hurt you. So, that's why we brought in these experts to make sure that we were doing everything 100% correct. So that's why when you guys say, okay, my seller says, I only got a budget of X, stage the residence, you can hurt yourself. Somebody walks in, they see the couch is too big or it's too small. People who buy units that are basically $4 million and up, this is not the first time they've bought, and they see these things. And that's why we selected these panelists here. So the other question I have here, this is for anybody. How are you defining luxury today? I think it's easier to focus on price or quality.
To me, one of the most luxurious things you can have is the space. And spacious rooms, spacious kitchens, spacious bedrooms and bathrooms. And that's what we strive when we are planning these units, where the kitchen, everything just looks like has a view, it allows sunlight in, and it just has that great feel to it. Then added to that, we have, of course, an amazing view, and we go on into into details of a baseboard, of a door handle. All of those are things that a person really absorbs when they're in it, even if they don't notice that they are appreciating all these things. When they touch a handle and it just feels good, it feels solid. And then, of course, artwork is something that is something extremely important in all these at the end of the day.
For the majority of the buyers that you've met, what seems to be the feeling of what they're looking for? Is it more of a beach home look, more of what they have in their existing homes?
No, it's definitely, especially if they come from up north, they want something totally opposite from what they have. And they're looking for lighter colors, a casual feel. They also are looking for a certain type of elegance because they do entertain, and they come from higher end lifestyles. So their lifestyle is extremely important, that it's casual, it's elegant, it's effortless.
I want to take a step back to the question about luxury, because I think it's a term that is extremely overused. Everyone uses the term luxury for any type of product. And the market is saturated with luxury goods. So we can all own luxury goods. But one thing that is, in my eyes, truly unique or truly luxurious is the ability to have something that is made just for you. No one else has it. No one has nothing exactly like it. You can design a Bentley exactly to your specifications, but it's still a Bentley. Your neighbor still has the same car, maybe different colors, different leathers. But when it comes down to true customization, architecture and interiors is something that when you sit down with your designer, your architect, you are helping to allow us to illustrate exactly what you want your lifestyle to be like or what your lifestyle is like. And no one can really have the same thing because we're each unique individuals. So the fact that you can do that in a condominium setting is quite unique and actually quite luxurious.
Ricardo, tell us about the way Luxury Living designs new collections and what is the process like?
Yes. So we present 3 collections per year. In January at Maison Objet in Paris. Then we have in April Salone del Mobile in Milan. And in September we have a private event at our headquarters in Italy. Our design process is such a meticulous process because we do spend a lot of time into research of materials, new fabrics, textiles. We do also, like the shapes of understanding, studying the shapes of our furnitures, of our accessories, and we'd never forget, that's very important, is the DNA of each brand. So, for example, Fendi, we're gonna look into the fashion show and the runway and get like that jacket or the purse, and we'll translate that into our sofas with a zipper or in the decorative pillow, and so on. Or like a pattern from Fendi Fashion, we bring it also into the furniture and accessories. Or with Bentley last year, they were celebrating the centenary, and we celebrated with them creating a limited edition chair, 100 pieces, or Bugatti, for example, we get the Chiron, and the materials that they use in the car, we translate them into furniture. So that's such a design process that we always keep it in mind, and when producing the furniture.
Isabel, typically when you meet with clients, do they usually have a budget in mind, or is it carte blanche, or?
No, I would say everybody does have a budget when it comes to what they want the end result to be. They do have a number in mind, or if they don't, they ask me what should be our budget. And we try to have at least 2 budgets and say, for this budget, we can get you this type of quality furnishings, and for this one, and usually they end up in between. So that's how we handle the budgets.
Russell, is that the same for art?
Yeah, with artwork, it's a unique scenario because it's always important for us to understand when we're working with a client, and it's a tricky scenario because clients sometimes don't want to say, well, I'm willing to spend this much money, or I'd like to spend this much money. They tend to want to hedge their bets somewhat, and so it's really important to us, and also the budget is really not the most important part of what we're doing. What the most important part of what we're doing is understanding what the goal is and what where they really want to be, because there is work available. There are works available that are well within budgets that you can actually create a very nice look for very little money, comparatively speaking. And so, again, it's one of the hard things. If you give us a budget, we understand the budget, and we don't overshow you or undershow you. That's the other side of it, because we're out seeking work on a daily basis through private sellers, private dealers, that sort of thing. And, I can have, for example, yesterday I had pieces come in. I had 2 Warhols come in. One was one I could buy in at $10,000, and one was $73,000. So it's a matter of what era, what timeline, all of those things go into play. And I joke with clientele all the time about, what's your price point? And I'm like, well, I can sell you an original piece for $500, or I have a listing right now for a Cy Twombly that's $69 million. And so anywhere in the middle, which is a vast number, but it is what it is. So, it's just understanding what the goal is.
At this time, I'd like to open up to the audience any questions you have for any of our panelists, how they can help you, how we can help you.
Can you give us an idea of, let's say, $3.5 million? What is the budget?
I couldn't hear you.
What is the budget for?
$3.5 million.
A unit that costs that much? For example, it depends on the square footage. But I would think anywhere from $1 million, from $800 to $1 million, for a roughly 5,000 square foot.
That includes
The terrace, yeah, and that's furniture.
No art. I don't think.
Yeah, no art.
No art.
No art. Art can be anywhere.
I mean,
Art is very particular.
Art can be Can be 1 million.
And that's really that's also it's a challenging question to answer because there's so many variables that go into that. Does the person want millwork? Do they want a small amount of millwork, a large amount of millwork? Do they come with their own art collection? It's really a much more involved process than that. You know, we try to, in our office, for instance, we don't have a set number, for instance. We like to, like Isabel said, set up a budget based on our meetings with the clients and sort of gauge it in that direction. You know, our way of looking at it is that you should spend what you're comfortable with spending, and our job is to make whatever that price range is look as great as possible.
And for example, for your, the example that we gave you for a 5,000 square foot unit, $1 million, we have done some that have been more than that and some that have been less than that. Mm-hmm. But that is a comfortable number that I would say.
To give you an example, what we're doing now with the boutique tower, the North Tower that we're just getting ready to open now, during a limited time, this is not for every residence in the building, we're including an $800,000 retail package. It doesn't include art, but it includes everything from Fendi chandeliers installed, rugs, accessories, service for 8, bedding, so that when the person closes, they move right in. Of course, they'll sit with Isabel and they might want Venetian stucco or wallpaper, but 98% of all the work is done for them ahead of time. So you really owe it to yourself to come by the sales center to see the new model we just completed, to see the level of the finishes. What we do here, nobody else does in this town. You know, we spend an average of $250 a square foot to bring it from designer ready to furniture ready. And we're not talking about porcelain floors. You need to come by and see the stone, the onyx in the bathrooms, everything from the sinks that were designed. We got a La Cornu oven. We have a pizza oven, which nobody's ever used in their kitchen. So you should come by and see what we're doing. And besides that, it's the lifestyle that we offer, bar none. You know, we have the villa in the middle that houses 45,000 square feet of amenities, from ice skating, bowling. You know, we have a signature restaurant coming in. You got Il Molino, New York. We got a speakeasy, a discotheque for owners to have their own parties. So rather than giving all those tidbits, I would love for you guys to come by the sales office, and my sales team will raise their hand. There's Karina, there's Marla, Adriana, and Yancy. We're open 7 days a week. You really owe it to yourself to come by and see what we're doing, because we don't lose anybody. When they come into that sales center and they go through that model and realize the value that we're giving, and they can trust us for what we deliver, because we deliver beyond what you see. We never value engineer where basically you see something and then you close 2 years later and it's not there. That's not what we do. That's our track record of delivering the world's finest residences. And if there's any other questions, please feel free to ask. If not, come join us at the sales center.